This episode of Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief is brought to you by Right By You Mortgage. Wherever life takes you, we're right by you. Visit rightbyyoumortgage.com/podcast to learn more. From WREL News and the Capital Broadcasting Podcast Network, this is your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Monday, September 14th, 2020. I'm Cliff Baumgardner. Here's the latest from WREL.com. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill could lose $300 million this year because of the pandemic, meaning job cuts might be needed to balance the school's budget. According to UNC's interim vice chancellor for finance, the $300 million figure accounts to 8% of the university's annual budget and doesn't include any cuts lawmakers might make to the UNC system's state funding. So how is the university going to address the lost revenue? Well, they say their options are limited. Some furloughs have already happened, and more are possible, while some employees may be required to work reduced hours for reduced pay. There could also be temporary reductions in base salary for those making more than $45,000 a year, and some faculty and staff could even be asked to take early retirement. Lastly, some programs could be eliminated or reduced in size. School officials say most of the potential actions must comply with state personnel laws, UNC system rules, or both, and employees would have plenty of advance notice on any actions. Faculty members said they're concerned about what cuts would mean for both them and students. Administrators also told faculty that they haven't made any decisions yet on the spring semester, including when and how it will start and whether there will be a spring break. They're appointing a 25-member committee of faculty, staff, students, and Chapel Hill residents to work with a planning team and disease experts to craft another roadmap for UNC Chapel Hill operations in the next semester. The STEM Innovation for Inclusion in Early Education Center, or STEMIE, is hosting a series of virtual programs this week for young kids with disabilities and the adults who live and work with them. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and during the week-long program, kids can learn about ways to explore, make, and tinker through the MakerFest sessions, connect with authors of STEM-focused books through storybook conversations, and find out about other at-home STEM activities. STEMIE Fest and MakerFest are offered through a partnership with the Boston Children's Museum and Bridge Multimedia. Programs are designed for kids with and without disabilities. The program provides a variety of ways for people to participate, either through live or recorded sessions, and all of it's free. Staff at STEMIE believe this is the first event focused on early STEM learning for young children with disabilities. The center, which is part of the Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute at UNC Chapel Hill, works to improve access and participation in STEM activities for young children ages 0 to 5, especially those with disabilities. According to STEMIE, none of the materials require expensive tools. Families can use whatever they have on hand whenever they can. Organizers said, quote, "We know this is an increasingly uncertain and challenging time for families and practitioners, and we hope STEMIE Fest can provide fun, engaging, play-based experiences that can easily be incorporated by families into their typical daily routines." Activities start today, September 14th, and run through September 18th. You can find links to information and tickets on our website. The race for a coronavirus vaccine shows no signs of slowing as more companies move their vaccine candidates through clinical trials, growing closer to determining which will be considered safe and effective. One such candidate is in development by the American pharmaceutical company Pfizer, which announced, along with its German partner BioNTech, they proposed expanding Phase 3 clinical trials to include 44,000 participants and more diverse patient populations, including people as young as 16 years old. That's up from the initial plan of 30,000 participants, a benchmark they plan to meet next week, according to a news release. The proposal, which would need approval by the Food and Drug Administration, would allow the companies to collect more data on the safety and efficacy of the vaccine candidates while diversifying the pool of participants. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which is working on its own vaccine candidate with Moderna, said on Friday he remains, quote, cautiously optimistic that a vaccine will be ready by the end of the year. But meeting the high demand will present its own logistical challenges, and Fauci said life is unlikely to return to normal before 2021. And the fact that finding a coronavirus vaccine is so critical has led to an accelerated timeline for vaccine development. leading to some concerns over safety. Last week, 9 companies signed a safety pledge promising they would not seek premature approval for a vaccine, and Dr. Fauci has reiterated that Americans should have confidence in the approval process. There are currently 35 vaccines in human trials around the world. 8 are in late-stage large clinical trials as of Friday, including Pfizer's and a candidate by AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford, which announced its trial would resume in the United Kingdom after being halted a few weeks ago following an unexplained illness in one of the volunteers, a step experts said is not unprecedented. This has been your Coronavirus North Carolina News Brief for Monday, September 14th, 2020. As always, if you like the news and information you get from this show, let us know. Leave a rating and review wherever it is you listen. Plus, while you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss our new episodes. Thanks for listening. When it comes to buying a new home, you want to know that you're in good hands. At Right By You Mortgage, the dedicated team of lenders live in your community and are committed to being right by you every step of the way. Whether you're a growing family, a relocating professional, or a retiring couple, they'll partner with you to find the right loan to fit your unique home buying needs. Plus, with the Right By You Mortgage on-time closing guarantee, they'll pay you and the seller $500 if you don't close on time. Visit rightbyyoumortgage.com/podcast to get started. Wherever life takes you, we're right by you. Go to rightbyyoumortgage.com/podcast for full details. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 402136.